Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Avengers Wave Puff Adder Build-A-Figure. Here we have Marvel's Orb. And this is a dude with an eye for a head. Interesting. The biggest problem with this figure is that it's on the Buckycat. It's cool to get an Orb figure, but the Buckycat. Hopefully this is the last time we get Buckycat. It's probably not. Now, I know they said that when they first introduced the Vulcan body that Buckycat will be phased out. We have seen it used less. I wouldn't say a lot less, but we definitely have seen it used less. I don't know if this is the last that we will see of it. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there are other planned figures that use this body mold. I don't think there are, so hopefully this is the last. Now, at the same time, Buckycat was never a terrible body mold. It's just outdated, older. At the time, early on, yes, it was great. So that's why it's still a decent figure, but again, Buckycat, we should move past that by now. Looking at the package, Avengers logo up there. You can see for the Puff Adder Build-A-Figure, he actually comes with the right arm and an extra hand, so fists and an open hand. We'll stick that in the pile over there and take a look at that in the next video. You can see it comes with the Repulsor Ray Gun, and that's it. And the side work of the Orb on there. Riding his motorcycle, which of course we don't get a motorcycle, and then I think this suit is actually not the exact same suit that he is wearing here, so kind of an interesting choice there. But there is Orb. Let's go ahead and get in for a closer look. Okay, so here's an up close look at Orb's eye. So the eye itself uses the digital face print for the iris itself, and then the veins in the eyeball. And it looks pretty good. The thing about it is, though, it's just basically a ball with eye paintwork on it. Because when you pop the head off, it is straight up a ball. Like, it reminds me of those gumballs from little quarter machine at the grocery store, where you put in a quarter, twist the little thing, and you get a gumball that looks like an eyeball. That's just exactly what this reminds me of. Now, the thing is it's not wrong. It's comic accurate. It's just funny, in my opinion. And then fun thing with the Buckycat, because the Buckycat didn't have a molded colored shirt, or necessarily even a shirt for that matter, the color is a separate piece, so it can float around there. It's not glued down or anything. If you glue it down, then you know it's not going to kind of rise up as you're doing things, and then if you do that, you're going to see skin tone like, well, that's weird with the color. But it sits on there nice, and then again, if you wanted to glue it down or just kind of keep pushing it down every time, that works there. So yeah, it's interesting. It's just a gigantic head. Looking at the figure itself, deco-wise, not bad. We get a blue belt with some white for the pouches. The buckle ends up being white. They didn't use a silver color. There, we get blue stripes there. I don't know if in the comic book if they were supposed to have stars on that back as well, but we do get stars here in the front. Stars around the edges of the gloves. He's got the pirate boots and the little Buckycat feet. And it is a Buckycat figure, and man, it just, oh, Buckycat. And I don't know if it's just me, or I feel like the leg muscle definition kind of matched up better earlier on with Buckycat. I don't know if the tooling is just worn down, or if that's even a thing with toys. I have no idea. But it just, Buckycat. It's just because we're so far beyond Buckycat at this point, and then we still end up getting it. So hopefully this is, again, the last, but we'll see. He comes with the Repulsor Ray Gun. Now, this was actually teased at San Diego Comic-Con last year. Dwight Stahl unfortunately wasn't able to make it to Comic-Con, so he did a live stream while there at Comic-Con, and he teased this Repulsor Ray Gun there. And fairly quickly, people started posting around that, oh, it's going to be Orb, it's going to be Orb. So here we have it. So we have the Repulsor blaster. It's just done in a gray plastic. It's sculpted nicely. We get some yellow paint actually there around the barrel. So that is pretty cool. And then, yeah, there is Orb. Paint deco, I mean, it's not too bad. A little blue kind of outside the line there, but nothing crazy or anything. But let's go ahead and check out his articulation on Buckycat, which you've seen a million times already, but I do wants to poll, and everybody wants to see it again and again. So here we go again. Okay, so let's see how well the Orb can move around the head. Can he look up much? Not a whole lot because of the design of the head, so he can look up that much, and it's just a gigantic ass eye. So the eye, looks up, and then he can look down, so somewhat there. No pivot because there's not really any room in the neck there, but you do get a full rotation, and that's all you're going to get with the head, and that's just creepy looking, right? If toys come alive and you see this thing walking around, like, that's some creepy stuff, right? That's like something you'd see in Sid's room. Anyway. The shoulder, you can get the shoulder to go up and out there. You get a full rotation, upper bicep swivel, double jointed pin arms because they are Buckycat. So it is an older body mold. The gloves do get in the way a bit, so you only get slightly over 90 degrees, and that's again only because of the glove really hinders that. In there. Wrists swivel and they do hinge. We get the standard horizontal hinge on this guy, even though he does have a trigger finger hand for his Repulsor Ray Gun. He does not have the vertical hinge. Ab crunch. So ab crunch works out pretty good on Buckycat, so he can crunch forward that much. He can crunch back that much there. The blue does continue on, so that works out really well. In the back, you can kind of see a stopping point, but that's also ugly bend, so you probably wouldn't have it that much bending forward. It looks like mine, you can see some stress to the plastic where it's just like scraping up against it or something going on there. I don't feel like that's a normal thing for Buckycat, but sometimes like over time I just start to see those weird little things here and there. Waist swivel on this guy. Legs go out that far apart, which is really good. Buckycat body mold can't kick that far forward, which is again pretty good. Leg goes back even some. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinned knee. That much bend there. You get a boot swivel at the top of the boot. Foot hinges all the way down with his little Buckycat feet. Hinge up, ankle pivot, pegals at the bottom of the feet. So again, Buckycat is not terrible. It's just outdated. Been used a million times over. So that's really why we want a new one. But again, it works. Okay, so here we have a couple of Ghost Riders. I just wanted to show kind of the older Ghost Rider figure and the new Ghost Rider figure because this one I don't have this one with the flaming skull head. I had this head, so that's why I wanted to bring out this one also so you could see, how Orb measures up to Ghost Rider. He is significantly shorter. Well, I guess I say significantly shorter, and part of that's going to be because the flame hair sticking up on Ghost Rider. But there they are side by side. I do want to point out that I did this real quick with his Repulsor Ray Gun. This is one of those blast effect pieces that came with Yelena. And then it's come with a bunch of other figures that you probably have in your collection. It does port into the middle of that Repulsor Ray Gun there, so you can actually have it to where he's shooting that Repulsor gun there. So now let's go ahead and see Orb with the rest of the figures in the Puff Adder wave. Okay, so there is Orb front and center. I guess I didn't put him in front. What was I thinking for Orb? But anyway, there is the Avengers Puff Adder wave. So without the build the figure, of course. A decent wave, I think. When a lot of people want comic figures over MCU figures, I'm an MCU guy. I want MCU figures over comic figures, but I still do really like the comic figures, and I know there's a place for collectors where they really only want comic figures, and here we have an entire comic wave. Hit or miss a little bit. But overall, I think it's a pretty good wave. The Captain America figure, the Iron Man figure are fantastic figures. Baron von Strucker is a surprise hit. Molecule Man is cool. Yelena has so much potential, but has a lot of cool accessories. Wonder Man, people have been wanting that version of Wonder Man for a while. It's got some limited articulation. But still a good figure. And Orb, it's decent in its own right, as long as you can look past Buckycat. The problem is it's getting harder and harder and harder to look past Buckycat. But the eyeball head is really cool. The digital print on there is fantastic. There's no detail to the head sculpt in the mold itself, but it gets that sweet ass collar around his neck there. But you guys let me know what you guys think of the Orb figure down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this wave so far without the Build-A-Figure. Hit that like button if you guys like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit the join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.